Should you buy a Nintendo Switch 2? Now that we're 24 hours into the Nintendo Switch 2's life, should you buy one? Now I'm going to be trying to disclose the information that I think would be great for you to know. So anyways, let's get straight into it. So, the Nintendo Switch. Now, this console is actually a really great console. 24 hours in, I'm having a great time with it. And there's a lot of things that I've noticed that may make you want to say, okay, fine, I'm gonna jump the gun and go and get a Nintendo Switch 2. And maybe there's things that you might not like about it. So, first off, the things that I really enjoy about it. The Nintendo Switch 2 eShop. This thing right here is so good. It's just such a good eShop because not only can you actually scroll through the eShop, but it plays little videos for you. I kind of like that feature. I really do enjoy that. Now it's only for certain games that I will play videos. It's more like the main first party Nintendo games or whatever video actually has a trailer. Because I noticed some games don't, like Cyberpunk 2077, they don't have a video trailer showing off the game, but you can click on it and it'll show a picture of the game. So overall, it's really cool and I really like that. There's also the For You page, which just recommends the games for you. For some reason, yesterday my games were all Mario games. But anyways, those are pretty interesting. I really like that. You see all the great deals and it's just nice and smooth. It's a smooth eShop that you don't have to wait a second to just keep moving throughout the eShop. It's just the best thing ever. Alright, so now, the other thing that I want to talk about was the Nintendo Switch Online application. That does essentially the same thing. Now the first time I looked at it, I thought that, hey, maybe we can see some music or something. It wasn't actually music, it was because the trailer was playing in the background, but overall, that is still really cool. Anyways, the mission and rewards are still the same as current Nintendo Switch. The only things that I would say, okay, you really want to get a Switch 2, would be if you want to play GameCube games. GameCube games are another situation here. Now I think that GameCube games are great, like The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker is pretty fun. But at the same time, if you don't like the GameCube version of the game, you won't be able to full screen it, and also it's just a little bit slower than the Wii U version if you're used to that. But overall, it's still fun. Online play on the Switch 2 is also really fun. Now what I mean by online play is like play online with Mario Kart or something. That right there is really fun. You can go and seamlessly connect to the internet and just start playing the game that you want. Mario Kart World. If you want Mario Kart World, well, looks like you have to get a Nintendo Switch 2. But if you're still debating on it, Mario Kart World, I find that is a really fun game. Now, I'm not the biggest Mario Kart fan, but I do like this game, how you can explore to your heart's content. It's really fun. But I see the side of where competitive Mario Kart players might not like this game because most of the game you drive more straight and it's really hard to pass people when you're in the back, they're in the front, and you know, you're trying to use mushrooms, but they also get mushrooms. It's just a little bit hard to pass them, but it's really fun. I love the knockout tour in that game. Now, another reason you might like it is to finally play The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom in a new light. Honestly, these games look amazing. Even if you're on a 1080p screen and you want to run it at 120 frames per second, or yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 120. Overall, that right there is really awesome and it just looks good. Alright, so another thing that I found really interesting about the Switch 2 is the mouse feature. The mouse feature is awesome because it allows you to just plop down the Switch. Like when you saw reviewers, alright, you can easily just plop it down and it starts using the mouse. That's not an understatement. That works absolutely perfect. You unplug the Switch and you just use the mouse control. You can use your old Pro controllers. Those work perfectly for every single thing. Besides turning on the console, if you're sitting far away, I've noticed that the Nintendo Switch Pro controller won't actually turn on the Switch 2. Maybe that's just my controller not working, but it doesn't actually turn it on, which is really interesting. Okay, so now you also have the fun pictures icon. Now that has been reworked so you can see different pictures in different ways. So overall, I think that is pretty cool. You know, you got your quick action, your quick filters and stuff. So, you know, it's been changed up from the Nintendo Switch a little bit. Game chat, for some reason you need parental controls. That's the only thing I figured out. I haven't really been able to access game chat, but it looks like you need some kind of parental control even if you use the C button on your Nintendo Switch controller. I don't know what that's about. That's a little strange, but overall. Okay, so there's some other features that I find really interesting about Nintendo Switch 2. Now, when you want to play games on the system, it's actually really good. All the unique controls allow you to do different things. Let's just take Cyberpunk for an example. So there's the basic standard controls with the controllers. There's also the dual pad controls, so you can use kind of gyroscope and stuff. There's the split pad where you can move each controller and it'll actually like send your motion. And then there's mouse control. Now mouse control is really awesome because, you know, you plop down the thing and it just works. Now some games you will have to go inside the settings and enable this, so I guess it's like it doesn't accidentally turn on the mouse control or something. But after you do that, it'll work seamlessly. All you have to do is unplug your Nintendo Switch mouse and put it there. The mouse control itself is actually really comfortable. Like I don't know, maybe it's because I use small mouse, but the Switch itself is just a nice mouse. It's just really nice. Okay, so another thing that I find really interesting is the keyboard functionality. Now, keyboard functionality is available, and you can just plug in a USB keyboard and start playing. That right there is awesome. It doesn't matter what keyboard you want. You can just start playing with any USB keyboard that you want. If you got one of those Bell desktop keyboard things, you can just go and plug that right in, and it's gonna work seamlessly. So overall, that right there is a thumbs up for me. Now, a little bit of the downsides of getting a Nintendo Switch 2. Now, some of the downsides might be there's not that many games on day one. If you don't care about third party, but you want the main first party Nintendo games like Mario Kart, Donkey Kong, Bonanza, Metroid, Pokemon, maybe you want to get a Switch 2? You just want to wait? I mean, that's perfectly fine. You can wait for a Nintendo Switch 2. You don't have to get one. But overall, there's some games that are going to be exclusive, other games that aren't going to be exclusive, like, of course, you can play Pokemon Legends ZA and Metroid Prime 4 if you don't, if you don't care about the Switch 2 upgrade of quality and stuff. But yeah, anyways, there's also the fact that the system looks pretty much identical, which is a strange move from Nintendo. If they were going to make the system look this identical, I don't think they should have updated how the Switch originally looked. That's just my opinion, just my hot take. Alright, so another thing that I find really interesting is, of course, the game prices. So if you don't want to upgrade to Nintendo Switch 2, that's fine, because hey, the game prices should be staying the same on Switch 1. Because, the Pokemon whatever is $85, so which is really, for the games that the Switch has launched with, I'm really enjoying Mario Kart. Cyberpunk's pretty cool. I never played that game. I mean, it's pretty cool. Also, you got The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 edition. And also, Nintendo GameCube. I think The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker is pretty awesome. You can get a whole bunch more games. There's a lot of games on launch day. Overall, what do you think? Do you think that you're going to be getting a Nintendo Switch 2? Did I do it justice of trying to explain the excitement towards Nintendo Switch 2 and should you buy it? Well, anyways, thank you so much for watching. Hope that you enjoyed. And with that being said, see you in the next one. Have a fantastic day.